We thank the sponsors of the Abbott Mysteries usually heard at this time, the makers of Helbrose watches, for relinquishing their time in order that we might bring you the following program.
This is Operation Crossroads. Alan Lisser speaking from the Mutual Newsroom in San Francisco. In a few moments, we shall take you to Bikini for the first controlled test of an atomic bomb against naval power. Mutual correspondents, along with other radio reporters, are now standing by waiting to give you their story from ship and plane as they follow the atom bomb plane to the target, the dropping of the bomb, and the explosion that follows. Just about 2.5 hours ago, the B-29 Dave's Dream took off from Kwajalein. At the controls, our pilot, Major Woodrow Swankett, a former intercollegiate middleweight boxing champion from the University of Wisconsin. His home, Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. Tinkering over his bomb site at this moment, somewhere in the Bikini skies, is Bombardier Major Harold Wood, hometown, Bordentown, New Jersey. Tucked away in the bomb racks of the big B-29 is the atom bomb, and it's understood that so tight has been the security in connection with the bomb itself that the crew themselves did not see it until the very last moment. The tradition of tagging some tongue-in-cheek message or name upon bombs has been carried out with the A-bomb. The world's greatest potential for large-scale destruction has been dubbed Gilda after the recent movie by Hollywood star Rita Hayworth. One other human touch is the good luck symbol Major Swankett has carried on his missions. It's a towel, now gray, called just It, that the Major has carried with him since his boxing days at the University of Wisconsin. Around Bikini Lagoon, a complicated double-check plan has gone into effect to see that all men are clear of the danger area. Somewhere between 8 and 15 miles from Bikini Lagoon is the USS Mount McKinley, Admiral William Blandy's command ship. Aboard that ship, the closest to the planned atom blast, is Mutual's Don Bell, whose voice you will hear shortly. Admiral Blandy, in a statement to Mutual reporters, has emphasized that today's atom bomb test is not a show, not merely a spectacle. It is a scientific experiment under special conditions to gather specific knowledge. The commanding officer of Operation Crossroads did say, however, that there were comparable show terms for this more than a $100 million production. All the intricate sea, air, and ground plans are merely background for the main actor, the atom bomb. No show ever had such complicated plans, so large a cast. More than 40,000 men, over 4,000 animals. In the air will be 73 planes. And in the lagoon at Bikini will be a ghost fleet of American, Japanese, and German ships. These ships will test the power of the atom bomb when it's dropped from approximately 6 miles up. On their decks will be armor plate, planes, tanks, and materials. Aboard the ships, too, will be the goats and guinea pigs for the purpose of testing blast, shock, and radiation from the A-bomb. Some of the animals will be clothed with flash-preventive cloth, and as the towering ray-inundated death cloud piles up into the sky, the Navy will send radio-controlled drone boats into the lagoon for samples. From controlled planes in the sky, other drones, these planes, will be flown into the death cloud in an effort to collect scientific data on just what dangers lie within that result of atomic nuclear fission. All personnel within the area will be wearing special glasses similar to those worn by welders when the bomb goes off. This covering is to protect them from the enormous flash known to follow atomic explosions. This fourth atomic bomb ever exploded, it is hoped, will supply the answers to some very important military and scientific questions. The first was tested secretly last year in New Mexico. Then came the two wartime uses against Japan, first Hiroshima and then Nagasaki. Whether or not the drone boats and planes can be controlled once they get into the radioactive cloud is not known, but after the blast, at a time when the test instruments indicate it's permissible, the scientists will move into the lagoon and begin checking the results. Results reported from Hiroshima and Nagasaki indicate the possibilities that concrete may stand where steel and brick are smashed. In the lagoon, there will be a concrete barge which should answer part or all of this question. At Nagasaki, there were differences in effect on persons wearing light and dark clothing. There are too many factors regarding the atom bomb and its effects which are still classified secret. These may or may not be answered, but whatever is found out will go into America's deep file where it will remain until such a time as the United States decides whether or not to share the atom bomb with the rest of the world. In this connection, there will be at Bikini foreign observers. If there have been questions as to atomic energy, several foreign capitals should know shortly more about the potent power of this newest scientific achievement. Remote from the bomb itself and today's test will be many other scientists who hope that someday atomic power will be the answer to many of the questions they've been trying to solve for the good of mankind. Right now, the B-29 carrying the atom bomb is high over Bikini, climbing to a point 6 miles or so above the target lagoon. Aboard the target ship, USS Nevada, will be an open microphone. On other ships surrounding Bikini will be microphones, and when Mutual takes you shortly to Operation Crossroads, we hope to broadcast the actual blast of the atomic bomb as the chain reaction looses its tremendous energy. Prior to the actual blast at the target ship's open microphone, you'll hear a metronome ticking away as the bomb bears down toward the target. But now they are waiting at Bikini, the radio reporters of the combined American networks, to bring you the on-the-scene description of the atomic bomb explosion at Bikini Lagoon. Go ahead, Operation Crossroads.
Speaking from the USS Appalachian, the communications ship for Operation Crossroads at Bikini Atoll. Listen, you hear that rhythmic ticking noise? That ticking is an electric metronome. Yes, a metronome just like the one that used to sit on so many parlor pianos. That metronome is located aboard the USS Pennsylvania, one of the target ships very close to the bullseye. The Crossroads technicians expect that metronome to be blasted out of existence when the bomb goes off. So listen to it from now on this broadcast. So long as you hear it, you'll know the bomb has not gone off. When the metronome stops for good, you'll know that test able of Operation Crossroads has begun. There's no one aboard the Pennsylvania now. Everyone was taken off all the target ships hours ago. That metronome is ticking away in front of an open, unattended microphone. There's another open, unattended microphone aboard the destroyer Rhine, which is somewhat farther out from the bullseye than the Pennsylvania. We hope that the microphone on the Rhine will not be wrecked by the blast. No one knows for sure, of course, but we hope it won't. If it isn't, you will hear whatever kind of a noise an atomic bomb explosion makes. Let me say right now that we don't know, not one of the 43,000 people out here on Crossroads knows what that explosion will sound like. It may be a wheeze, a whisper, a bang, a thunder, a bark, or a roar. You're going to hear it when we do. You'll hear what we hear. If it doesn't sound like you think it should, that's your fault for having a preconceived notion. Remember, no one in the world ever before has heard via radio an atomic bomb explode. Do you hear that metronome? So if the equipment stands up, radio circuit is clear enough over the thousands of miles that separate Bikini from you, you will hear the bomb explode. First is picked up by the microphone on the destroyer Rhine. Then about 8 miles out from the Rhine will be Admiral Blandy's Flagship. Sound, traveling at normal speed, should reach the Flagship to Mount McKinley. About 40 seconds after that explosion, you hear via radio. You'll hear it again from and through a microphone on the McKinley. We here on the Appalachian are about 15 miles from the target, about 5 miles from the McKinley. The sound of the explosion will be another 20 seconds reaching the Appalachian. That's after you hear it from the McKinley. So if, and these are all big ifs, for this is only the 4th atomic bomb ever exploded, you know, if the bomb itself doesn't disrupt all radio communications and the circuits are good back to San Francisco, you'll hear the explosion of the atomic bomb 3 times. Once from the destroyer Rhine within the target group, next from the Mount McKinley about 8 miles from the Rhine, and third from this ship, the Appalachian, about 13 miles from the Rhine. Just before the bomb explodes, we will bring you the actual voice of the bombardier of the B-29 bombing plane, Major Harold H. Wood. You'll hear him give his last-minute report. You will hear Admiral Blandy himself make the announcement that the bomb has exploded. Do you hear that metronome? Here on the Appalachian, there are some 115 radio and press correspondents. Most of them are up on deck. I'm speaking to you from a specially built broadcast studio down between decks. But I'm not isolated. Right across the table from me, a television screen is right now carrying a picture of Bikini Lagoon. I have, in fact, by means of television, a close-up grandstand seat right here in the studio. This whole ship is a hive of activity. For today, the next few moments will culminate the countless hours of work, planning, correlation, and coordination Army and Navy members of Admiral Blandy's staff have put in since he was directed by the Joint Chiefs of Staff to put Task Force 1 into being to conduct this test. Via television, I can see Bikini Lagoon, but only a portion of it. You must be, as I am, wondering what it looks like from the air. Well, Correspondent Bill Down, who right now is flying at 7,000 feet in a B-29 plane, will give you a description of how it looks to him. Come in, Bill Down. At 5:55 this morning, daybreak at Bikini, the bombing plane took off from Flagship, center of the Marshall Islands, flying a little over 500 miles north of the equator. We are just over the international date line here, and right now it's 8:40 o'clock, July 1st, Monday, a day ahead of you back home. Now the bombing plane, bomb carrier, rode down the fraudulent runway with the atom bomb aboard while all of us held our breath. The takeoff of Major Swanson's atomic B-29 named Dave Green was 20 minutes late. There was no explanation. The atomic bomb was armed and ready to drop 20 minutes after the takeoff, according to word we picked up by radio in its plane. Now the B-29, called the Voice, from which I am speaking now, is some 20 miles east of Bikini, and it took off about 10 minutes ahead of the bomb carrier. On that fraudulent aerodrome, all of the big B-29s seemed to tiptoe down the runway. No one was taking any chances. The weather up here right now is ideal. There's a scattering of cumulus clouds that partially obscures the island, and up above, though, the visibility is unlimited. Bombing should be good. Up here over the target area are 72 other planes. Each of them has been assigned to a set course, a prescribed area and elevation at which it must fly. It's a deadly serious aerial circus with three-dimensional complexity. Some of the drone planes will be sent into the atomic cloud as it occurs to check radioactivity and find out what the atom inhabitant does to aircraft. As a matter of fact, planes will form around the exploding atom very much like a cloud of stars form around a flame, and there's almost the same fateful fascination involved. But it's down there on the far blue Pacific, the main interest will be centered after the bombing report for this experiment. A giant elliptical laboratory about 25 miles long and half a gunner wide, and the elements under test are ships, seapower. Now here is the picture as viewed from the air. Now if you could fill a make-believe wash tub with water, and to make it realistic, put in plenty of fluid, for that is the predominant color here today, and in the center of this wash tub put a bright orange and white painted splinter of wood. That would represent the target ship Savannah. Then take 72 other bits of gray painted wood and arrange them in a cross pattern running north and south, east and west, across the surface of the water in your make-believe wash tank. This crisscross of ships represents the picture this morning at Bikini, a picture that has been officially estimated to cost $70 million to determine which of the crossroads we take for our national defense. Looking down on the gallant old ships of our Navy that have made history, some of them in World Wars, you cannot help but wonder what they would say about this if they could speak to the Santa, the Saratoga, the Arkansas, the Pensacola, and a couple of German ships, the Prince Eugen, and a couple of Jap ships, the Zagato and the Chicago. They are riding peacefully at anchor, motionless and silent. Only the whirring of scientific instruments which will measure the extent of their atomic wounds or record their death breaks the silence down there now. And perhaps a cultural fleet or a sound rest complacently, but outside of the flames overhead, that is all. These few minutes that we are taking now before the bomb drop is a kind of wake, for truly it is a graveyard of ships in the Bikini Lagoon today. Outside the lagoon, spotted in a score of ships below us now, are the men who will determine the result. Over there is the Appalachian full of reporters who will tell you about it to help you make up your mind about the atom. And there are ships full of scientists intent upon reading the instruments, and other ships full of generals and admirals who must be wondering right now what if the atom is going to knock them out of the sky. We will have to wait and see what happens. You hear the metronome? I return you to the Appalachian. This is the Crossroads press ship Appalachian again. The bombing plane should be just about ready to begin its bombing run. When it does, the bombardier reports. Whoever is talking when he gives his reports will be cut off the air immediately so that you can hear the bombardier. Remember, if any of the radio correspondents is cut off and a strange voice comes in, it will be the voice of the bombardier. Admiral Blandy's flagship, the Mount McKinley, is the heart and nerve center of Operation Crossroads. Let's hear what's going on the flagship and what's in the picture of that scene as viewed from there. We take you now to Don Bell aboard the Mount McKinley. Come in, Don Bell. I am speaking from the top of the house, at the base of the radar tower, 2 decks above the flag bridge, where Secretary of Navy Forrestal, Admiral Blandy, and his staff are sitting, standing, or pacing the deck as their various natures or the duties of the moment